there's a timbre in someone's voice when they're telling the truth. And there's a sound in someone's voice when they're lying. And it's something that any child can hear. In fact, many a child has, right to my face, told me things like what I call the pal. That's what people say when they don't know your name. Why don't you know my name? A 4-year-old can tell when you're lying right away and they'll call you on it. But I think part of growing up, especially part of growing up as a woman, is the world teaches you to forget what that sounds like. Something that's just inborn in you is ground out. And I think the time where it becomes most clear is when you're 16. Or at least it was for me. It was my peak earnestness. I lived in Etobicoke, which if you don't know is where Rob Ford is from. It's also where sadness, boredom, and big box stores are from. And I would wake up every day convinced that the world could change. I read a lot of books and I watched movies and I was sure that everything could change. All it took was a lot of people working together. And every Monday I would put on my backpack only on one strap so I was cool still. And I would head to school ready to make a difference. Because I was sure if we got enough people together and we just started talking, we could change the world. I watched a lot of those 90s shows that said kids would change the world, and I was a little bit too literal. And I would start out on a Monday morning, and as the week went on, my posture and my ability to maintain would just kind of melt. And by about Monday at lunch, both straps would be on my backpack, and I would be staring at my shoes. The one good thing is I feel like this gave me a really great interest in shoes that is maintained to this day. But one day there was something... Etobicoke! You got me. One day, something really, really exciting happened. They started telling us that there was going to be a teacher's strike. And a lot of kids were very, very excited because it meant they wouldn't have to go to school. And I was very excited because I was pretty sure this was my chance to help change the world. I made picket signs and I walked with the teachers. I was the one kid other than the kid that everyone called homeschooled kid that walked. She had braids and was very earnest. I did not have braids, but was equally earnest, and we would walk. Her sign was much more grammatically correct than mine. But the end of the week, my parents are teachers, and all their friends are teachers, and so I had a unique opportunity to go to a union event. It was at the old Maple Leaf Gardens, and it was just filled to the rafters with people. All kinds of different people with different signs, and some people were dressed casually, and some people were dressed in suits. Some people were young, some people were old, some people were clearly retired teachers that had possibly not left their house except this. You know those people where you're just like, this is your good sweatshirt that you came out in. It has a picture of your grandchild, but you committed. And the evening was incredible. It was everything I had dreamed of on Monday mornings. Everyone would talk about the changes we could make, and everyone would sing. Well, the singing maybe wasn't the best part. Unions are really great at solidarity. They're not really great at solidarity of carrying a tune. So it was more like solidarity forever. But I didn't care. It was beautiful. It was, in fact, more beautiful in how imperfect it was, because it was real, because it wasn't a fantasy, it was actually happening. And so the event ended, and I felt about 20 feet tall. I wasn't staring at my shoes. I was staring forward at my beautiful future. I was so excited. So I went to go to use the bathroom before we left, and I walked in with my friend Leah from high school, who was the only other political person that I knew. And we were using the bathroom, and I started babbling, like, just on, and the words kept piling over on top of each other. Like, I was so excited, and this happened, and this happened, and this happened. I was basically describing everything she had also just witnessed, but in a squeakier and more excited voice. And I left the bathroom, and I walked out, and I realized Leah wasn't there. I had been monologuing for possibly 10 minutes, which also was embarrassing because I was talking in the bathroom for 10 minutes, but I was monologuing for 10 minutes. And the person in the stall next to me walked out. And it was a woman who was probably about 40 years old. So in my mind, like a million, but she was about 40 years old. And I knew what was going to happen. And preemptively, I just started looking at my shoes. And I said, I'm sorry. I thought you were my friend Leah. I'm sorry. I'm really excited. And she stopped and she said, who told you you couldn't say what you thought? Who told you couldn't have an opinion? And then she asked me what I liked about the event and why I was excited and what I did at school. She basically asked me everything I had already said in an excited, squeaky voice. But she listened. She listened. Thank you so much.